You talking about wine, Amber? Is that the strong water of which you speak? I'm gonna come back. I am gonna eat my sandwich, but I will mute while I am chewing. But I figured we can at least hear the next case, see what happens, so you guys don't have to wait too long.
Sybil Fortescue always has what's new. Far ahead of her friends. She oft gets her hands on goods from foreign lands. That Captain Fortescue sends.
I did that backwards, didn't I? That wasn't muted. My bad. Yeah, she got a monkey, and she's got some peacock feathers and a red dress. She's flamboyant. Going to eat and get in a nap as well. Feel super tired. All right, kid, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope your nap goes well, and you eat some good food, and we will see you another time, my dear.
Good morrow, madam. I humbly welcome you to my consulting chambers, and thank you for choosing my practice. Mistress...
Fortescue. Mistress Sybil Fortescue.
Well then, Mistress Fortescue, what may I assist you with this day?
I come upon a most troubling matter, sir. I know not whether it is a medical matter or something else.
I see. Pray describe your trouble to me, madam.
Well, I suppose it all began with a dinner I hosted at my house last even. Mayhap you have heard of my dinners, Dr. Foreman. They are much talked about. Though I fear last evening's dinner will be talked about for all the wrong reasons.
Talked about, you say?
Yes, indeed, invitations to my dinners are much sought after, for I host the most desirable of guests, lords, bishops, poets, explorers, painters, and the like. Why, last eve I hosted the famous Robert Lord Devereux, the playwright William Shakespeare, and the Bishop of London and his wife. As well as fascinating conversation.
Get me in this
At
fucking
my
party.
table, I serve the very latest and most original dishes. Last even, I served an exotic green vegetable called a portato. So crisp and refreshing. My dear husband sent them home to me from the New World. Doubtless you have heard of my husband, Captain Fortescue. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh.
I see. Your dinners do sound most excellent, Mistress Fortescue. But what occurred at last eve's dinner that has you so distressed?
Well, in truth, 'twas after dinner. We all felt a strong desire to take some air, and so we left the table to take a turn in some pleasure gardens nearby. But then, as we were walking along the path,
Pleasure
right
gardens?
in the middle of the gardens, in full public view...
Pray do not distress yourself, madam. Prithee, take your time.
My guests and I were, all of a sudden, stricken with pain. We began chundering and voiding from our... But there was nowhere to turn, you see. There were no bushes close by to shield our modesty. 'Twas unspeakable.
A moment, madam, as I note this down. Abdominal pain and simultaneous upward and downward purging of a most
From the
sudden and
fa-la-la-la.
violent nature.
Yes, Amber.
Now, let us see how these stars explain this most distressing and unsavory event.
Okay.
What troubled Mistress Sybil Fortescue and her guests last eve?
So I mean, as much as I love Shakespeare, and there probably was great conversation, is the conversation with Shakespeare worth food poisoning from a bad potato? Also, I fucking love potatoes, so I was like totally down with this. Wait, is the monkey covering its eyes? The monkey is swooning in distress. What a nightmare. I mean, imagine you're just like puking and shitting yourself in the middle of a garden suddenly. All right, my guests and I were stricken last eve with abdominal pain, chundering, and voiding from the fundament. The fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Virgo, ruler of the digestive system, the moon. This suggests the illness is temporary. Her guests were troubled with evil digestion. Well, that's legit right there. Or we have Taurus. Sybil Fortescue has taken a chilly cold. Taurus, ruler of the throat. This suggests a severe imbalance of phlegm in the body. Or wandering hands, Gemini. Rule of the arms. Ooh! My arms are very wiggly. The sun. Suggests this illness is chronic. Mercury in domicile in Gemini. This suggests neurosis. Right, that said neurosis? Yeah. It's Virgo. You got some evil digestion there, Missy. You don't want to imagine? Do it!
Madam, I think you said the New World vegetables you dined upon were green in colour, did you not? And you described them as crisp and refreshing, I think. I take it then that you served them to your guests green and raw?
Yes, indeed. Most of the potatoes my husband sent me were full, dull, and unhealthsome in appearance. Hence I served only the green ones. I had my cook cut them in such a way as to resemble roses. 'Tis the way I oft serve my apples.
Ah, then your trouble was a severe case of evil digestion. I have read that these vegetables can be noxious if they turn green.
Oh, my days! Do you mean I poisoned my guests?
In a manner of speaking, aye. But worry not, madam, for the suffering was but temporary. Indeed, it does sound as if the bodies of your guests were most comprehensively purged of the poison. However, in future be sure to cook the, potatoes until they are soft, and pray do not eat the ones that have turned green.
As God shall mend me, what a shameful affair this has been. I shall go home and, well, I shall write to my husband and ask that he includes cooking instructions with the next gift of food that he sends me. I thank ye and bid ye good day, Dr. Foreman.
She gave them fucking raw or like moldy potatoes. You nasty! And thus Indian food as introduced to London? No. Indian food is delicious. I don't understand people who are like, my butthole! I had Indian food! I'm like, nah, man. The querent did present with symptoms of both upward and downward involuntary purging, abdominal pain, and fever. I did diagnose evil digestion provoked by the consumption of raw green potatoes. God, don't eat those shits. Methinks the querent is most pleased with me for the reading I gave. Oh, hell yeah. That's some pleasure right there. What a fine-looking young man Dr. Foreman has for a manservant. My manservant is super hot.
One such as we do rarely find, just needs a man to be behind, for she's but a lady.
Nah.
Good
She
evening,
can go
Miss
it
Lanier.
solo.
What brings you?
I am come about my future, Dr. Foreman. I wish to know whether I will find success as a writer of poems and plays. You can predict futures, can you not?
You, madam, a writer of poems and of plays. Forsooth, how verily remarkable.
Well, 'tis true most of us Basanos and Laniers are musicians, but I have chosen a different path. I've lately begun a collaboration with a poet and playwright. Let us call him Mr. S. He is presently writing a play that takes place in northern Italy, and as I am of Italian heritage, he has asked me to help him write it.
How interesting. And does this collaboration betwixt you go well?
Your breasts
Right
are
well,
done!
Or so methinks. Indeed, Mr. S
Sorry.
did suggest that I am full talented as a writer. Be not afraid of greatness, he told me. For once our play opens upon the London stage, our success will follow, as night follows day.
I see.
I love it!
Then what would you have me ask the stars, madam?
Well, I've noted that Mr. S, although a brilliant man, is oft prone to exaggerated melodrama and implausible plot resolutions. I wish to know whether this story of his, of our future success, is true.
Very wise of you, madam. Then let us see whether your success or failure is writ in the stars. Will Mistress Amelia Lanier find fame and fortune as a writer?
Well, that wasn't quite the question. The question was, will our play do well? And, like, we fucking know Shakespeare. It's Shakespeare, Cerebral! I said your breasts be done. D-U-N. They're brown. It's part of the sonnet, you know? I forget the rest of the words in the sonnet, but he's like basically saying that his love, or his woman, is like the opposite of all these beautiful, wonderful things that are traditionally sought after in England. And then he's like, yeah, but fuck all those other ladies, mine's better. Like, just like I forgot most of it, but I remember the part about titties. No, I swear, hang on. It says, why then her breasts be done? Ah, my mistress's eyes, sonnet 130. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are done. Alright, it's not be done, whatever. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I've seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes there is more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress when she walks treads on the ground. And yet by heaven I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. There you go. That's the one. Listen, I know what I'm about. If I didn't have the precise wording. You knew what I meant. Okay. If Mistress Lanier maintains optimism, her ambitions will be realized. Not only will she be successful, her work will lead to transformative and surprising political changes. So says the House of Ambitions, with Mars domicile in Aries, which suggests victory, Uranus, this presents surprises in politics, Pluto, which represents transformation, and Jupiter, which advises optimism. Mistress Lanier and her writing partner work well together. House of Business Partners, and Venus indicates cooperation. This is amazing, isn't it? This game is really, really great. I'm loving it. Alright, or B, the stars urge Mistress Lanier to be more sensitive to the needs of her child, House of Children. Nah, get out of here with that shit. Or C, this house warns of a legacy marred by deceit and jealousy. Saturn in detriment in Leo tells of jealousy. Neptune indicates deception. As well as this speaks of Mr. S indulging in creative theft. House of lost and stolen goods. Sun represents Mr. S. Mercury represents creativity. We're gonna go with A. Hell yeah. Shakespeare, man. Shakespeare. Hi, I'm so bored. You don't have enough hobbies. If you're bored, you don't have enough hobbies, my friend. But if it caused you to seek me out, then I welcome it. How are you doing, man? Yeah, we're gonna go with A.
It would seem Mr. S.'s confidence is not misplaced, for the stars foretell that if you have faith in your success, you will succeed. And your contribution to the world will reach beyond literature to be of great benefit to society.
So, in order to succeed, I must hold fast to a belief that I will succeed.
Just so, madam.
But what you are asking of me is right illogical, Dr. Foreman. Indeed, 'tis an impossibility. How can I maintain a belief that my success is inevitable when you have just informed me that my success is conditional and contingent? As Aristotle teaches us
Mistress Lanier, mayhap I have confounded you with the nuances of my astrological reading. All you need know is that the achievement of your goals is very likely. Indeed, 'tis indicated that your collaboration with Mr. S will be a fruitful one.
It is fruitful,
Prithee, madam,
for
look
him.
not for bad news among the good.
Aye, mayhap 'tis best I not overthink it, as you say. I thank ye, sir. Good even, Dr. Foreman.
Get out of here with your logic. This is astrology. Yeah, you got that right, Amber. Could play with PS4, but I don't really feel like it. Yeah, that's fair enough. But, like, you know, you can watch stuff, you can read a book, like, play an instrument. It's... being bored when we have so much at our disposal is really difficult. Will it get into Lovecraft? Nope. Shakespeare. Way better than Lovecraft. The querent did wish to know whether her activities as a writer would bring her success. I did advise the querent that her collaboration with Mr. S was fruitful and would bring her success. I didn't say her success, I just said success. Methinks the querent was a little pleased for me. Got a capo finally, nice. Looks like it's made of wood. Ooh, same shade as the guitar neck. Fancy! If only I could forget about what he said about my success being conditional. Fie, how would Euclid have solved this conundrum?
Mistress Avis Allen, love of Foreman's life, how futile 'tis to fall for another man's wife.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, madam. What service may I perform for you this day?
For me? None. None at all.
Verily. Then I cannot fathom why you...
'Twas my husband who bade me come, for he finds it difficult to speak of... As I say, he had me come in his stead, and I could think of no reason to give him for why I should not come.
I see. Then what is troubling your husband? Madam, I cannot
his
treat
privy
a querent
member?
without knowing first what his troubles are.
He is unable to perform his marital duties.
I
Good.
see. And whatever does that mean?
I see.
Your husband forgets to put out the night soil? Some broken shelving he's neglected to fix? Prithee, madam, I bid you be more precise.
You're
You
being
know
a jerk.
perfectly well what I mean,
Yeah.
Simon. I bid you not drag this out any longer. Pray read the stars and let us get this over with.
As you wish, madam. Now, let us see. What ails Mr. Allen so as to render him unable to perform his marital obligations towards Mistress Allen?
I don't know. My husband is unable to rise to the occasion when performing his marital duties. What ails him? Oh, mwah. That wording. I love it. This game is the perfect Lecta game. I love this game. Mr. Allen suffers from a loss of carnal lust. Aries, ruler of the head. Jupiter in retrograde. This suggests a deficiency of blood. Pluto in retrograde. The illness will get worse before it gets better. Uranus in retrograde. This suggests a mild enchantment cast by a witch. Or does it have something to do with Leo, ruler of the heart? Mr. Allen suffers from cold in the heart. The sun domicile in Leo. This suggests the illness will be long-lasting. Neptune, this suggests a disturbance of the mind. Saturn in detriment with Leo, this suggests a mild imbalance of black bile in the body. Or Sagittarius, ruler of the hips. Heh, heh, heh. Mr. Allen suffers from a crick in the back. It is causing him pain in the hips and making it difficult to perform duties around the house. She's a brick. Da-na-na-na. House. My hips. My crick, my back. Ow, I can't perform my duties. That song got weird. Anyway, the moon suggests this illness is temporary. I think it is most likely a loss of carnal lust or cold in... let's go with cold in the heart. He's cold and dead. Come seek refuge in my arms, darling. I don't know. Let's go with cold in the heart. I don't think it's a crick in the back.
Mr. Allen is afflicted with a cold in the heart, caused by an imbalance of black bile. The treatment for this is quite simple. You have merely to add boiled snake to your husband's
Boiled
diet.
snake.
Oh, that is... 'Tis your full judgment on the matter, then?
Yes, he is to eat boiled snake flesh. Be sure to gut the snake first, however.
Then I will pass these instructions on to my cook. Well, I'd best be going now.
Nay, prithee, bide a moment, if you will. The snake flesh cure, 'tis often effective, in truth. 'Tis also my judgment, as a physician, that for a wife to be so neglected, 'tis most unhealthsome. And so...
Oh, Simon.
Oh, Avis.
And so, you must be gifted many, many items from my collection of Venetian glassware. Verily, my loins ache for the... Yes, exactly. The querent did come on behalf of her husband, who it would appear does suffer from dysfunction of the privy member. I judged Mr. Allen as suffering from a cold heart due to a chronic imbalance of black bile and prescribed the consumption of boiled snake. Methinks the querent is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today, coitus post consolatio. The querent did... The querent did lose her fucking mind because I'm such a stud in the sack. Verily. I shall say 100 Hail Marys before bed this even. Nay, 200.
What? Doctors against him do make war. Doctors against him do make war. He makes love without a care.
Tis true, Avis is not his my lord.
But in love and war is fair. But in love and war is fair.
If you say so. The chorus said
Last
so.
even 'twas like a dream. Never in my life have I felt so. Oh, my sweet Avis, 'tis true you are married, but surely a love as great as ours can transcend such earthly impediments. Dare I hope for... Nay, 'tis most unlikely.
Are we going to poison
Or
the
is it?
husband?
Forsooth, there be no harm in asking the stars. Might Avis Allen one day be mine?
Oh, we're besotted. Will Avis and I ever be wed? Avis Allen's loyalties lie with her family, House of Family and Friends, with the moon, which represents a woman. Or C, I'm not seeing things clearly. If I knew the truth about our relationship, I would presently be seething with jealousy. Sun, domicile in Leo, represents truth. Neptune indicates confusion. Saturn in detriment in Leo, this advises jealousy. Along with, Avis is cunningly hiding a secret from me. I don't think that's true. Mercury, domicile in Virgo, represents cunning in the House of Secrets. Or B. Avis has betrayed her marriage vows. The damage this has wrought upon her marriage cannot be undone, and her past cannot be erased. Ah! House of Legacy, Mars in detriment in Taurus. This represents betrayal. And I may be optimistic, for Mr. Allen will suffer ill luck and die. Avis will then be free to marry me. Jupiter in retrograde, this advises optimism due to a reversal. Pluto in retrograde, this represents a change of direction due to death. Uranus in retrograde, this suggests a sudden change in direction. Well, I know what we want to hear. We're writing our own scripts. Yeah, we've been treating ourselves since day one. We were our very first querent, after all. If the fine lady does recall, we cured ourselves of the plague. Yeah, he's gonna die, Simon, whatever you want.
It says, Avis is one day to be widowed,
Yeah,
which
maybe
will,
she's
of
like
course,
90.
be very tragical. But
Tragical.
after the grieving is done, we will marry.
Oh, my water's over there.
She will be Mistress Foreman. Mistress Avis Foreman.
Aww. It's not his fault, it's the glassware. No one can resist. No one can resist a fine collection of Venetian glassware. Prithee, nay, verily, it is known. The only thing more irresistible than Venetian glassware is my manservant. Nice PJs, thank you. I got them for $10. 1 year at TwitchCon, they had a bargain bin, and I got these and the gray ones. And I actually only spent 10 on both of them because I'm an Amazon Prime member and they were doing $10 off. So I essentially got each pair for $5 and I wear them all the time. And they have pockets. I like them a lot. All right. I judged that Mr. Allen would one day die, leaving Avis Allen free to marry me. Well, that might be true. It could be. Anytime soon? Probably not. This querent will return. I wonder how Avis will wish to furnish my house. Doubtless she will require the purchase of many cushions. Wait, can we recommend ourselves? Thomas Blog!
Lest his wife does him an
Lest his wife does him an evil. Oh, I love this.
Good day, Dean Blogg. Fare you well?
Most well indeed, and I will tell you why. The conquering cherub has lately returned home to England.
Ah, this being the voyage you did invest in.
Aye, and what a sound investment it was, for it has paid off most handsomely. The cherub's cargo of nutmeg and pepper will fetch a high price indeed. Forsooth, my earnings have enabled me to make a substantial investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World.
Ah, methinks I've heard of this. 'Tis a quest to find the fabled lost city of gold, is it not? Or as the Spanish call it, El Dorado?
The very same, for it is said that El Dorado does lie deep within the rainforests of the southern parts of the New World, hiding vast quantities of gold and precious jewels. Hence, what I would have you tell me is, exactly how rich can I expect to be made from my investment?
I see.
For if I'm to
He's
be made
already,
very
like,
rich,
in.
I am afeard that news of my fabulous wealth may cause some jealousy among the clergy. News travels fast around the diocese, and I think it wise to get ahead of it if I can.
Then let us consult the stars. What will become of Thomas Blogg's investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's quest to find El Dorado?
Let's find out. Behold, the stars. Will my investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to discover El Dorado pay off? Blogg's finances will bring him unhappiness. Moon in detriment in Capricorn. Nah, bitch. The expedition will encounter foreigners who are stubborn, confident, and lead by instinct. House of Foreign Countries. Sun domicile in Leo represents confidence. Neptune represents instinct. Saturn in detriment in Leo shows stubbornness. Blogg's business partners will be met with violence. House of Business Partners. Mars in detriment in Taurus suggests violence! So yeah, I don't think El Dorado is going to be a good investment. But what are other options here? House of Children, there is cause for pessimism and a surprising reversal to save the lives of children. Jupiter in retrograde, this shows optimism in reverse. Pessimism. Pluto in retrograde represents the inverse of death, which is life. Uranus in retrograde indicates a surprising reversal. Well, that's confusing. And what about C? God rewards exploration, House of God's Grace. Mercury, domicile in Virgo, this represents curiosity. Blogg will be able to leave his children a legacy of fine things. So we know this is probably what he wants to hear. Yeah, he was not pleased with us last time. But I don't think he gonna do so well. And I wonder if we tell him, no, this will go poorly, if he'll just be mad and leave. Or if he'll come back and be like, oh my god, you were right. Because we know he wants to leave the legacy. This one makes no sense. And I think this one's accurate. Let's use our powers of premonition. He's not gonna like it.
I have ill tidings for you, Dean Blag. Raleigh and his men have been set upon by a tribe of angry New World natives.
Angry natives? But surely the natives would greet us with much rejoicing.
Yeah.
For do we not bring with us the gift of civilization? Would they not crave freedom from their tyrannical chieftains and cruel pagan gods?
Well, it would seem these particular natives cannot be reasoned with, as they are led by instinct alone, and they will fight to the last man, as it is not in their nature to surrender with honor, as Christian men would.
Truly?
You're so cute.
Alas, I am afeard that Raleigh shall be forced to abandon his search for El Dorado, and your investment will come to naught.
I must own, sir, that I cannot share your uncharitable view of these savages. They may be heathens, but are they not still God's children? I will now take my leave, that you may engage in quiet reflection upon the spiritual dimensions of this question.
You, sir, are a rank bitch. A little bird there's nowhere to really land outside my window, but it kind of came up to my window and did a little hover. And it was really cute. And I wanted to pet him. The querent did wish to know the fate of his investment in an expedition to El Dorado, the fabled city of gold. I did warn the querent that Raleigh's search for El Dorado would be aborted due to local resistance. Methinks the querent took my advice a little ill. Yeah, but he'll come back. He'll be back! Mayhap I invest in tulip bulbs. I hear young merchants say such bulbs will one day replace silver as new coin.
When the symptoms are rare and the questions are quitted.
The symptoms are rare and the questions are quitted.
The melodies are strange and ease
The fake Italian.
Good morrow, sir, and well met.
Indeed, 'tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to the great Dottore Simon Forman.
Aye, and I can see why you are come. Methinks you are not well, signor. The colour of your face is quite alarming.
It is because I am losing the blood. The blood does drain away from my face, away down my body, and out of my...
You are bleeding from your fundament. How much have you been bleeding?
My
and for
anus
how
is
long?
bleeding.
Un poco, not too much. It does come and go. Sometimes
My anus
blood, sometimes no
is
blood.
bleeding!
Stop the blood, see?
Mayhap I will, but first I must consult the stars to find a diagnosis. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
I don't know. This guy has more problems than I know what to do with. Hey, GGT. Sounds like an insurance commercial jingle. Wasn't there... Yeah. Call J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877 cash now. They did a fake opera. Listen, it was effective, okay? I still remember. Call J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now. Gotta use more lube, Ricardo. That does all. Be gentle. He's breathing from his fa la 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 la. Signor Ferraro has hemorrhoids, which are swellings in the anus and rectum. Blind hemorrhoids cause pain, whereas open hemorrhoids are apt to bleed. This suggests the illness will not last long. Scorpio, ruler of the privy member. Oh, is it now? Does that mean we're eating dicks? Is everyone has a musical intro? Yes, they do. Could I get in the game to have one too? I think the game is complete. It's a little late. Call 2678433 because the next best thing to new is Dalworth Clean. Ting! Yeah, I've never heard of that one. We're eating Kings of Dicks? Okay. Oh yeah, ruler of the Privy Member. Gotcha. Yes, I agree. Signor Ferraro suffers from jaundice. A blockage in Signor Ferraro's neck has caused color to pool in his head, turning his face yellow. Taurus, ruler of the neck. This represents a mild imbalance of yellow bile in the body. I think we're going with dicks. Your anus is bleeding, sir. I think we're gonna tell him he has hemorrhoids. Because it said that his face is troubling. However, we didn't say he was yellow, which that could have been what we meant. Again, this game is a little bit vague, but it's a sign of the times, right? So we're gonna tell him that he's got hemorrhoids.
There is nothing here to worry about, Signor Ferraro. Your body is merely purging itself of corrupted blood, in a similar manner to that which does occur in a woman's nethers each month. To wit, 'tis most healthsome and natural.
Are you sure? Are you sure that is your final answer?
Indeed it is. I do assure you, Signor, 'tis the very latest medical thinking on the subject of hemorrhoids. You are welcome to procure a second opinion, but I warrant you will find that most doctors in London will tell you the same.
Then Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day, Signor Foreman.
Well, we found a little bug there. Taking Lupin for a walk. Enjoy your walk. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon. Yeah, whoopsie daisies. The querent did present with the symptom of bleeding from the fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. I did diagnose hemorrhoids and told the querent that bleeding from them is as natural as a woman's monthly courses. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. A textbook answer, but it is not hard for a common man to procure a medical book nowadays. Oh, he's so fake! He's testing us.
This woman has a gift for words. If only she had riches words, they'd probably be much better words. Though written by her lady.
That's so funny. The self-deprecation of the chorus. I like it. I love this game. I love the shit out of this game.
Did you see that?
See what, madam?
Your querent, Signor Ferraro, scuttling away from me like a frighted rabbit. What have I ever done to upset the man? All I did was wish him buongiorno as I passed him at the door.
Verily, Signor Ferraro's behaviour does sound full strange. But let us not think of him, but of the matter that brings you hither, Mistress Lanier. How do you fare?
I fare most well, in the main. For you spoke true when you said my collaboration with Mr. S would be fruitful.
Hell yeah.
It is going exceeding well.
Yeah.
Verily, Dr. Foreman, I would be
we
right
got
content with my lot
Starhead.
at present if it were not for the trouble I am come about this day.
Pray, tell me of this trouble, madam.
I am being prowled. Oftentimes in the night I see him following me home.
Oh, shit.
One time methinks I even caught him looking at me through my window. I would have you tell me who this prowling man might be.
A prowler? How very worrisome. Can you describe this man to me?
Mr. S.
Nay, for 'tis always at night that I spy him, and I have always been too frighted for my eyes to linger upon him very long.
Then let us see what light the stars can shed upon the identity of this man who hides himself in darkness. Who is the man prowling Mistress Lanier?
Love listening to you play this game, Idol. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, dear. And thank you for being a patron of the hype for 14 months. I hope you enjoyed your parade, and here is your royal salute. Yeah, this, she seen me prowling the bushes. She caught me trying to look at her through the window. That's weird. Don't do that. was I going to say? Ooh, I really want to start saying full such and such. Instead of I'm so sorry or I'm very sorry, I'm going to start saying I'm full sorry. She's full strange. Look, she caught me trying to look at her in her corsets. Girl looks so good in a corset. Yeah, she does, though. Who is the mysterious man prowling me? Mr. S. The prowler is a violent husband. House of marriage, Mars in detriment in Taurus. This suggests violence. I mean, we do know that her husband is a drinker. But why would he be outside of the house? That doesn't make sense. The prowler hopes for a reversal of the ill luck he has had with Mistress Lanier. He harbors a misguided hope she will perform her wifely duties and resume intimate relations with him. Jupiter in retrograde, this suggests misguided optimism. Pluto in retrograde, this shows a return to sexual intimacies. Uranus in retrograde, this indicates a reversal in fortune. Love corsets myself. I know. I like them too. I only have one, and it doesn't fit me anymore. Well, it might now. I've gained weight since October, as I discovered Friday. I thought none of my dresses fit me anymore because I had lost so much weight accidentally. But I gained weight since then. Last time I was at the doctor, I weighed 114 pounds, which means that I gained 6 pounds, which was very exciting. But I hadn't tried on any of my dresses because they were like significantly large. But I was able to wear one on Friday and it looked good. It fit again. Are you feeling healthy-ish? Yeah, I'm small. I am small. I'm a small lady, and my genetics and metabolism I'm not gonna get much bigger than this. I'm just a tiny lady, and there's not really much I can do about it. Alright, B. House of Religion. Mistress Lanier is suffering mental confusion owing to her religious beliefs. She also harbors an unjustified level of mistrust towards prospective romantic partners. Venus suggests romantic partners. Neptune, this reveals confusion. Saturn in detriment in Leo, this indicates mistrust. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. How about this one? The prowler is a man of authority and a master of wit. Mistress Lanier considers him a friend. The Sun, this represents a man with authority. Mercury, domicile in Virgo, represents wit. Prowler harbors undeclared feelings, House of Secrets. The Moon represents emotions. So we've got violent, it's your husband creeping outside your window, which doesn't make sense. We've got, your religion is doing weird shit, and you gotta trust prospective romantic partners. I'm gonna go with C, because none of the other ones make any sense. I'm gonna say it's Shakespeare. I think it's Shakespeare lurking at her window. Yes, 6 pounds is a huge difference. Yes. It is. But, I see me every day, so I don't physically see the differences, really. I think my butt got bigger, and that was about it. Something about a priest. Yeah, that was earlier. Hey, Thar, how you doing? Alright, so we're gonna say C. What?
The stars suggest that your prowler is a man with a talent for wit. A man who secretly harbors amorous feelings towards you. Does that sound like anyone you know, madam?
Dr. Foreman, I find your question most illogical. I cannot know of a man who harbours secret feelings for me, for indeed, if I were to know of them, the feelings would not be secret.
But he
yes,
thinks it's secret.
Let me put it another way. Your friend, Mr. S., is the keen-witted man who furtively admires you. He is your prowler, madam.
Mr. S is my prowler, you say? I bid you, sir, check the stars again.
Is it not the most likely explanation, though, madam?
I assure you there is nothing likely about the unique relationship betwixt me and Mr. S. Indeed, he has too much respect for my literary mind to use me so ill. For his is a noble intellect that allows him to soar above the baser instincts of
Have you met
lesser
him?
men.
Have you met Shakespeare?
Now, If you will not judge the stars again for me, I will bid you good day, Dr. Foreman.
Damn, okay. So we were like, hey, girl, Shakespeare got a thing for you, and she was like, fuck no. Dr. Foreman does not understand how unlike we artists are to common folk. 20 pounds down! Woo! That's awesome, Wormy. I dream of fitting in some clothes that aren't baggy without feeling like an overstuffed sausage. I'm sorry that fitted clothes make you feel that way, but I can assure you that fitted clothes actually make you look smaller rather than baggy things.
Hear ye, hear ye! Sir Walter Raleigh fails to find legendary treasure city.
Correct.
Rumours say next Raleigh voyage is to Pot of Gold at End of Rainbow. Hear ye!
Reports have lately come in that Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World in search of El Dorado has been a colossal cluster fail. Despite Raleigh's assurances to the Queen that he would return with gold raided from the legendary city, it is said that Raleigh's ships bring back naught but potatoes. Or potatoes, as the British like to say. Experts predict Her Majesty's reaction will be somewhat testy. You think it's the same priest burglar that was prowling? Well, yeah, we knew that was the Jesuit priest. We had to...
Here comes Emma, so kindly she, to the frail and aged she offers sympathy.
What is she for others? Especially when they're born of wealth.
Here comes Emma, so kind-hearted is she.
Yes.
Good day to you, Mistress Sharp.
Good day, Dr. Foreman. But I am Mistress Delamere now.
Mistress Delamere? But as I recall from my case notes... let me see now. 'Twas 3 years past. Aye, were you not hoping to marry a man named George Middleton?
Oh, yes. I did marry Mr. Middleton. For though I did tell my family what you said about his condition of the heart, they quite insisted that I marry him. And truly, they were full wrong to do so, for just as you predicted, Mr. Middleton did
old man
verily
heart death.
die of his cardiac passion, mere months after we were wed.
So soon? How very tragical.
I blame the Scotsman who took to playing his bagpipes below our bedroom window at odd hours of the day and night. Such a bothersome man. Betwixt him and the vipers Mr. Middleton discovered one morning nesting in his undergarments, I fear 'twas all too much for his poor, weak heart. Oh.
There, my dear lady. How distressing your late husband's death must have been for you.
Aye, indeed, Dr. Foreman, so much so that my friends urged me to marry again, lest I die of grief. But now that I am once more a wife, I would not wish to be widowed anew, and John Delamere, my present husband, is also an older man. Dr. Foreman, you must tell me whether there be any illness he has, whether there be anything I might do to save my dear sweet husband from an early death.
Don't put vipers in his undies.
Is Mr. John Delamere troubled with any condition that may cause him to die?
How am I supposed to know? I never met the man. Cardiac passion. Neptune retrograde suggests the condition cannot be cured. He's been bewitched. Uranus, this suggests witchcraft. Pluto suggests possibility of death. Whilst in Aries, ruler of the head. Or John Delamere is troubled with quinsy, a condition characterized by soreness in the throat. This suggests a mild imbalance of yellow bile. I don't know. Well, maybe can I just tell her, like, hey, don't put vipers in his underwear and maybe he'll live. He's been bewitched. Cardiac passion or quinsy. Pure guess? Most of the time. Sometimes the patients will give us enough information that we can make an educated guess. But we're not a real doctor, and we're not even looking at the patient. She just wants to know, and some other dude keeps coming to us for financial advice. Quincy, because you like the word. So yeah, she hasn't said anything about his health, just that he's older. So that makes me wonder if I shouldn't say that he's bewitched, because then if he dies, then there's nothing, she can't say I was wrong. Right? But I know that she doesn't want to hear that he's gonna die. She is very close to a letter of recommendation. I'm gonna say he's been bewitched. Why not?
Mr. Stellimere, the news is very grave. The stars tell of your husband being under the spell of a witch. Know you of a woman in your husband's circle suspected of being a witch? A disgruntled sister left penniless by feudal inheritance laws, perchance? Mayhap a local cat enthusiast, or a Scottish neighbour?
Hey, don't blame the
Nay,
Scottish neighbour.
As true as I live, sir, I do not. But I will be sure to make inquiries. Good day, Dr. Foreman.
Well, I don't think that got us anywhere. Took my advice rather ill. Oopsies. Hi, Dad. Oh, she hates it. How fascinating it is that so much can be read in the stars. How you doing, Daddy?
Was a fine host, of this she will oft boast. She loves to entertain, she loves to entertain. Though hard she does try, her dinners go awry.
Another failed dinner? Another dinner in tears and shame? I know, they're so good, right?
Good morrow, Mistress Fortescue. How may I help you this day?
This game is so
I
good.
did lately experience feelings of a most strange and disturbing nature, for which I desire an explanation.
I see. Prithee describe these feelings to me, madam. When did they occur?
Last eve, at a dinner party hosted by my dear friend Mistress Emma Delamere. All was well at first, but soon after my arrival I was stricken with a kind of madness.
Madness, you say?
Yes, moments during which I found myself overcome with feelings of mirth, laughing most immoderately at the dullest of remarks made by other guests. At other times I felt an unnatural fascination with the shape of the candelabra in the table's centrepiece. And all the while I was so ravenous with hunger, I quite absent-mindedly ate all the sweetmeats at my end of the table. I fear my rapaciousness did not escape the notice of guests seated beside me.
Such an immoderate appetite is out of character for you, I take it. It could not have merely been occasioned by anxious passions?
Why, nay, Dr. Foreman. Forsooth, I ought to have been very calm last eve, for I did spend the afternoon inhaling the fumes of an aromatic oil, a gift from my sweet husband, sent back from his explorations
you
in the
were
Near East.
high as
I
fuck!
did mention my husband, Captain Henry Fortescue, before, I think. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh. Oh, Henry and Sir Walter find the oil most relaxing, so he tells me.
Yet
Girl
you
got
were
the
not
munchies.
so very relaxed last eve, I take it.
No, not in the least. For I fear a capricious spell was cast upon me. Over the course of the evening, I developed the strongest intuition that malignant forces were present in the room.
And she got
and that I had been
paranoid.
bewitched. Could it be true, Dr. Foreman? Might a witch have cast a spell on me?
That is something we shall have to ask the stars, madam. Let us see. What was it that afflicted Mistress Sybil Fortescue last eve at dinner?
Girl got high as fuck, got the munchies, but was also kind of paranoid. What caused my strange behavior at dinner? Virgo, ruler of the spleen. The querent is troubled with melancholy, a condition characterized by lethargy, anxiety, and sadness. Saturn represents an imbalance of black bile. The querent has been bewitched. Aries, ruler of the brain, the moon. This suggests the illness is temporary. We do know that. Pluto, this suggests the possibility of death. No, you're not going to die from getting too high. Uranus, this suggests witchcraft. What's this? Gemini. Sybil Forticus... Hey, there we go. Shit. Smoke inhalation. The sun suggests the condition is chronic. Gemini, ruler of the lungs, suggests an altered mental state. Hell yeah, girl. 420! Let me count the 420 ways. Yes. Can't stay, just sending a quick hello from us over here. Hi. I love you. Bye. I love you.
Now, madam, the oil your husband sent you. This was the first time you did inhale its fumes, methinks.
Yes, the shipment of gifts from my husband did only lately arrive.
Then I think we have your answer. I have read some interesting tales of such oils and herbs of the Near East. 'Tis said they occasion certain temperaments, to wit, an excessive sanguinity, which will have caused the immoderate laughter and increased appetite. They can also provoke a narrowing of the mind, which would explain your temporary fascination with the candelabra, and I believe the fumes of this oil may also have been responsible for the notion that you have been bewitched.
And the men of the Near East gain pleasure from this oil? They would render themselves foolish on purpose?
Aye, indeed. Foreigners have many strange customs and desires that we cannot hope to understand.
How fascinating! I thank you for this explanation, sir. Indeed, 'twill make for a most diverting tale with which to regale guests at my next dinner.
Hell yeah.
God give you good
She's
morrow,
like,
Dr.
guys,
Foreman.
I got so high the other day that I ate everything and I thought this candelabra was the shit. The querent did come seeking an explanation for her strange behavior at a dinner hosted by Mistress Emma Delamere. I did judge the querent's strange behavior as having been provoked by the inhalation of smoke from an oil obtained in the Near East. Methinks the querent is most pleased for the reading I gave today. Ooh! I wonder if Dr. Foreman's manservant was ever in the Navy. His arms do appear very strong.
Another consultation. Will this one end in bed? Or will Mistress Allen slap him round the head?
I don't know. Let's find out. Oops.
Good day, Mistress Allen. What brings you this day? Oh, dear lady, you tremble like a leaf on an autumn day.
Aye, for I am most affrighted. But Mr. Allen says he thinks I worry over naught. So I am come to you, for methinks you would... Perchance you may help me.
By my troth, Pray tell me of this evil that affrightens you, madam, and I shall do all in my power to protect you from it.
Yes, evil. Oh, indeed, 'tis the very word for it. I have seen a dark figure prowling outside our house in the night, and once I saw him spying through my window. Who is he? What does he want from me? What am I to do?
I see. And you do not recognize his face or any other particulars? The colour of his hair, for instance?
Oh, nay, for 'tis always so dark. But by his silhouette I can tell he is a bony, scrawny little man.
Is he verily? But your husband thinks 'tis naught to worry over, you say?
Aye, he says the man is doubtless naught but a poor travelling tinker who is merely taking shelter in our garden. 'Twould explain why his figure is so slight, to be sure, but what if he is not a tinker? What if his purpose is more sinister?
Aye, indeed. Then let us consult the stars. Who is the man prowling outside the Allens' house in the night, and what is his purpose?
We're gonna side with her. Someone nefarious is out there. Another use for that excellent collection of glassware. To stave off prowlers. Alright, A. Ava is mine. She must rein in her behavior. House of Possessions. What? This represents a woman. Saturn suggests constraint. Not only does Avis have a deceptive nature, she is obsessed with romance and has a preference for younger men. What? This represents a romantic partner. Neptune suggests deception. Mars represents young men. Avis risks being punished by God for her frequent comings and goings from her house. You're not allowed to leave your house. That doesn't make any sense. The Prowler is a mature, intelligent man who is a secret enemy of the Allens. The Sun is a mature man. Mercury is intelligence. The intimate relationship between Avis and I is changing. Uranus represents change. Pluto represents sex. Well, I think this one's more likely than the other one, so I guess we'll go with B.
The stars suggest the Prowler is a secret foe of your husband.
Have we been
Mr.
creeping?
Allen have any gambling debts, perchance?
Hold. Methinks I see it now. Ah, 'tis you! The Prowler, 'tis you!
Me?
It is
How now,
us.
madam? What an outlandish notion.
So you would deny it? That you have prowled and spied upon me these last months?
Prithee, Avis, you've got it all.
I will not have it. I am not a thing to be owned. I'm not one of your prized possessions.
I prithee, madam, put that down. Put it...
Ah!
My Venetian
madam.
glassware!
That was a priceless Venetian vase.
It was. We called it. It's that glassware got us into trouble, man. Did she die? No, she threw a vase and left. The querent, believing she was being prowled, did wish to know the identity of her prowler. I advised the querent that the prowler was a secret enemy of her husband's. True. She disagreed and accused me of prowling her. The querent took the advice most ill, but we already got her recommendations, so... Whatever, bitch. Fie, if I see him in the garden again, I shall have Mr. Allen go and... Nay, methinks I had best not tell Mr. Allen.
Who is this
Ooh, new guy.
who has on such a claim? Lately returned from his conquests in Spain. The streets of London resound with his fame. Robert Devereux, that is his name.
All right, I like your pants. Oops.
Good day, sir. How may I... By Jupiter! Can it be true? Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, Lord of Her Majesty's Privy Council, hero of the Battle of Cadiz.
Prithee, calm yourself, Sirrah. Pray, treat me just as you would any other querent.
Of course, as it pleases your lordship. But may I say, what a great privilege it is to... may I offer you a...
You are the man who had some success treating the plague some years past, are you not?
Oh, indeed, my lord. You are very well informed. My strong water did save many a Londoner from a most lamentable death.
Then perchance you might have some cunning cure for me as well, for since I am returned to England upon having resolved that small matter in Spain, I find myself afflicted with the most vexing ailment.
Oh, but your most glorious capture of the Spanish city of Cadiz was no small matter, my lord. All England talks of nothing else. Why, pamphlets recounting your heroic exploits are sold on every street corner in London.
Mayhap they are. I know nothing of them. My single-handed victory against the King of Spain was but a trifling affair, and the least I could do for my queen and a grateful nation. But I fear vast riches and the hearts of many a Spanish beauty were not the only things I did capture while I was there.
What else did you capture in Spain, my lord? I fear I do not grasp
I call
your meaning.
syphilis.
If you would kindly show me where upon your body you are...
As you see, this Spanish disease I caught has me oozing a most disagreeable substance.
Ew.
Methinks I have a fair idea of the nature of your affliction, but I must confirm the judgment with a reading of the stars. Let us see, what disease troubles Robert Lord Devereux, the Earl of Essex?
I call syphilis. My body does ooze a foul substance. What is my illness and how may I be cured? Gonorrhea. Yeah, close enough. Robert Devereux is suffering from gonorrhea, a disease characterized by white matter running from the privy member and pain when passing urine. Nasty. The moon falling in Scorpio suggests the illness will not last long. Or Leo. Robert Devereux is troubled with love. Yeah, I don't think that's it at all. The sun, domicile in Leo. This suggests the illness will be long-lasting. Neptune suggests the illness is curable. Or Virgo. Robert Devereux is suffering from evil digestion, an affliction that may occasion both upward and downward purging. Ruler of the digestive system, Mercury, domicile in Virgo. This suggests severe narcissism. Well, he's got that. Mars, this represents an imbalance of yellow bile in the body. Venus falling in Virgo represents a mild imbalance of phlegm. Saturn represents an imbalance of black bile. Now, he got the gonorrhea. Privy member! Your privy member is disgusting, and it must be purged from... like, chop it off or something. I don't know what to do for you.
You have gonorrhea, my lord. 'Tis a condition provoked by an increase in intimate activities.
Too much strumpy-humpy, eh?
Strumpy-humpy!
Well, 'tis true that since news of my victory got about, every wench from Southwark to Shoreditch wants a piece of my action, as it were. And how may this gonorrhea be cured?
The most effective method is lead plate therapy. Usually this requires a man to lie in bed for many hours with a leaden plate positioned upon his privy parts, thus allowing the lead to impart its healing properties to the affected member. But, of course, men such as your lordship have no time to lie around in bed, which is why... Let me just fetch it from my cabinet. Which is why I invented this.
And that is what? Some sort of wonder chub, like the ones old men used to wear?
Precisely so, my lord. 'Tis a codpiece that I had a blacksmith fashion out of lead. I invite your lordship to wear it under your breeches so that the lead may remain in contact with your privy member at all times. Indeed, until you are cured.
How very droll this is. Verily, how old-fashioned. I will appear as hung as old King Henry Tudor. Mayhap I just wear it in my chambers.
Good day, and please come again. If you need anything at all, I am at your service.
Little lead codpiece. You don't like that? It's gonna be the height of fashion, Phoenix Blue. But yeah, I feel like looking hung would just give him more gonorrhea. He's already having to keep the ladies away from his action. The patient did present oozing of foul discharge. I did diagnose a case of gonorrhea and prescribed the application of lead plate to the privy parts. Methinks the querent is most pleased with me. Hell yeah, 70%. Though if I were to go about Whitehall Palace wearing a wonder chub... Okay, so we have Strumpy Humpy, we have privy member, we have wonder chub. Okay, like, I'm in love with this game. I'm gonna need to procure a wonder chub for my privy member to prevent the liberal use of Strumpy Humpy. Penis Majoris sounds like a spell from an after-hours version of Harry Potter. Oh, that is a good quote. I forgot about that. Revive the fashion for codpieces. I bet you it would.
Watch your lover, Avis, watch her night and day. If a woman has your heart, you cannot let her stray.
Ah, Avis, I did not expect to see you this evening. Do you bring news?
Aye, some very good news, at least if you confirm it for me. Methinks I am with child.
Ah, how very wondrous. And, have you any idea of who might...
Aye, verily, with child, but I dare not to. Forsooth, what if it be naught but false hope?
Then let us ask the stars without delay. Is Mistress Avis Allen verily with child?
We're not gonna ask her if she has any symptoms. What if I just have wonder sperm and this will be the pregnancy that gets, that comes about? Holy. Evil angels are confusing Mistress Allen. Within a few months it will become clear that she's not with child. Neptune in retrograde, this represents confusion that will be resolved. Well, we know that she has been pregnant before, multiple times, so she probably knows. Symptoms of liverworm, please. Mistress Allen is aging. This decreases her chances of being with child. Saturn in retrograde represents reversal due to aging. Mistress Allen's family thinks she's lazy. Moon falling in Scorpio represents a lazy woman. Mistress Allen is untrustworthy and creative when it comes to her marital duties. Sun in detriment with Aquarius represents untrustworthiness. Mercury represents creativity. I should feel optimistic about the relationship between Avis and me. Okay. And what's this one? Mistress Allen is with child, but it will die, for she will experience some sudden bad luck, a miscarriage. I mean, this represents death. Pluto is death. Uranus represents a sudden change in fortune. Father of Mistress Allen's unborn child is a strong young man that she is romantically involved with. Mars exalted in Capricorn represents strong young man. Venus represents romantic partner. So we have either no, you're wrong, you're not with child, your family thinks you're lazy, you're old, and you're shirking your marital duties, but hey, you got me, honey. Or we have you're gonna have another miscarriage or stillborn birth. But hey, it's my kid that you're gonna not give birth to. It said 1596, but I don't know if present year. It's in the 1590s. We've started in the earlier 1590s. This is in Shakespeare's time, Phoenix Blue. So I'm gonna go with B. She's not gonna like it, but she's not gonna like either of those things.
Madam, the stars confirm that you are indeed with child, and that the father is...
Oh, joy! Simon, is it not wondrous? You and I are to be blessed.
Hold. I am not finished. The stars also reveal the identity of the father.
There is no need to read the stars for that, for surely 'tis obvious that you...
Prithee, admit it. You have been coupling with my manservant, William.
What? Why, you... I warrant the stars say nothing of the sort.
See here, in my chart. 'Tis plain as day.
Okay,
in the house of children, alongside Venus, there is the planet Mars. Who else but William could that be?
But such scribblings of yours, they mean nothing to me. For all I know, you make up those stories about planets and houses and such. Why, verily, perchance you might draw up a new chart, Simon. One that tells of how the planet Avis is no longer in the House of Foreman.
You would mock me, madam? You would make a jest of my... Oh, I see. Leaving now, are you? Then you do so. You leave. I bid you good day.
That did not go well. I had no idea we were going to accuse her of sleeping with William. Because I don't think that she did. Yeah, she took the advice ill. Simon's jealous fancies. I do not think I can abide them any longer. Oh, you'll be back.
Rich but not satisfied, mayhap you have not tried this one weird trick for displaying your wealth. Buy herbs and confections to boost your complexion and pass idle hours tending to your health.
This is great. Have you not tried this one weird trick?
Good even, sir. Who do I have the pleasure of welcoming to my chambers this day?
Nicholas Muggs, proprietor of Muggs Rugs down on Silver Street.
Ah, the wig makers. You supply wigs to players, do you not? I have heard tell of your fine work from some of my playhouse querents.
I thank ye for your kindness, sir. I do hear you are very skilled at your trade also. For are you not the curer of the plague of '92? Forsooth, I do hope you may cure me as well. For though I do not think I have the plague, whatever I have is doubtless most grave, no matter what my wife thinks.
And what is it your wife thinks?
It be her mind that I have taken naught but a chilly cold in the head. But 'tis not so, Dr. Foreman, for I ache all over. My throat is grown sore, and I cough day and night.
Day and night, you say?
Aye, verily.
I see. Then let us consult the stars.
So either...
What does ail Nicholas Mugg?
Either his wife is right, or he is a hypochondriac. But he does have a little rosy nosy. Mugg is troubled with hypochondria, possibly induced by witchcraft. This condition could one day prove fatal. Aries, ruler of the head. Mercury suggests hypochondria. Pluto is death. Uranus, possibility of witchcraft. Or Mugg has taken a cold in the head, the symptoms of which include a cough, short-windedness, a hoarse throat, and pain throughout the body. Indicates an imbalance of blood. But he totally started putting on a cough. Or he's suffering from a cardiac passion characterized by short-windedness, grievous pain in both the heart and throughout the body. Neptune in retrograde. This suggests the condition cannot be cured. Let's tell him he's a hypochondriac. It's a witch!
I'm sorry to confirm that your condition is indeed most grave.
Oh, most grave, you say?
I am afeard so.
He likes that.
For it seems you have been stricken with a bout of hypochondria. 'Tis a disease of the mind that provokes delusions of illness in the sufferer, whilst he is, in truth, in a state of perfect health. My chart indicates that in your case it is so severe it may one day prove fatal.
What is it that you call it? I must own, sir, that though I understand little of what you say, by your tone methinks you do trifle with me. And to think that folks say you be different from other doctors. Well, sir, I will not tarry, for I see I do waste my time here.
Okay, well, he hates me. Bet there's an achievement for thinking everything is witchcraft. Yeah, the consultation ended before I could just prescribe treatment. Oof. I will now to the apothecary go. For a tincture of herbs, an apothecary may always be counted on to sell a man a cure.
Robert Lord Devereux's a rising star, dashing and debonair, he will go far. Oh, London greets him with cries of huzzah! In truth, we cannot have not state no sweeter when we are.
This is so amazing.
Good day, my lord. How may I do you service? Would it pertain to some thrilling adventure upon which you may soon be embarking?
Indeed it does. Sir Walter Raleigh and I did recently come across some intelligence concerning a fleet of Spanish ships that will soon be sailing home from the New World, bearing a goodly cargo of gold. Raleigh and I plan to borrow the royal fleet, which we will use to intercept the ships and seize the treasure.
No.
Huzzah! But, borrow the Royal Navy, you say?
Aye, only temporarily, of course. The Queen will hardly know her ships are gone. Indeed, when we return them to her bearing a handsome prize of Spanish gold, she will doubtless forgive our failure to file the correct paperwork and what not.
Doubtless. And how may I assist your lordship in this glorious endeavour?
Well, in order to intercept the Spanish fleet, we must know which route it is planning to take. One possibility is that it returns to Spain having retrieved the gold from the New World's southern continent. The other possibility, and this is the one Sir Walter thinks most likely, is that the gold has already been transported by conquistadors from the southern continent up to Havana, and the ships are to fetch it from there.
Ah, then let us see whether the stars can tell us upon which route the treasure ships may be intercepted on their return to Spain from the New World. Will they be sailing from the southern continent or from the Spanish colony of Havana?
I don't think either, honey. The gold is cursed. To see in that movie, it's all witchcraft. But yeah, we're supposed to get letters of recommendation because we're not a real doctor. We don't have a medical license. And the College of Medicine or whatever they're real mad with us because we're a fake doctor. And so we wrote to the University of Cambridge saying, hey, can I have a license, please? And they said, well, no, unless you give us 8 letters of recommendation. So we have one from Avis. We've almost got one from Sybil, from Amelia, and Robert. Ricardo, we're getting there. But everyone else is not pleased with us. Alright, A. The crew of the Spanish ships happened upon the gold by conquering and killing its owners. House of Lost and Stolen Goods. Mars, domicile in Aries, suggests victory. Pluto is death. Uranus is a sudden change of fortune, or sometimes witchcraft. Through the conquering of foreign peoples, the King of Spain is establishing a fine cultural legacy for future generations. Sun is authority. Venus, domicile in Taurus, indicates refinement. Mercury suggests creativity. Jupiter represents foreigners. Or B. Devereaux should trust Raleigh's instincts. House of Friendships. Neptune is instincts. The Spanish sailors hide a shameful secret that relates to a lack of self-control. Saturn in retrograde, this indicates reversal of constraint. Or House of Travel, the moon. Women factor into the Spaniards' travel plans. Let's go with this. This seems like I can write it off as, oh, well, they didn't get any gold. Getting recommended by Mr. Lead Penis, you bet.
The stars are of the same mind as your friend, Sir Walter Raleigh. Now, for regardless of where the Spaniards load their ships with gold, they will stop at the port of Havana. It seems the Spanish sailors will be unable to calm their carnal desires.
Excellent, excellent. But where are we to intercept them? Pray, give me the precise day, latitude, and longitude.
Certainly, my lord. But divining nautical coordinates is a somewhat lengthy and complex process. If your lordship would kindly return in an hour or so...
Quickly, sir! I have not the time to bide here all day.
Well then, let me see now.
I would just say the
taking into
stars
account
don't
the
know that.
position of Jupiter, divide by 3, carry the 1. Yes. The Spanish treasure ships may be intercepted upon the 15th day of October at a latitude of 9 and 40 degrees north and 5 and 20 degrees west, or thereabouts. That said, however, I cannot promise you that...
Excellent. Raleigh and I shall sail to this very spot. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Godspeed, my lord.
Huzzah! You like your codpiece? The querent, or Wonder Chub as he called it. The querent did wish to know where he and Sir Walter Raleigh might intercept some Spanish treasure ships. I did tell the querent that the Spanish ships will be fetching the gold from Havana. I furnished him with coordinates of a location where he and Raleigh might intercept them. May God be with our English fleet, for I had not the time to verify the soundness of my calculations. Methink the querent was a little pleased for the reading I gave this day. Well, he's gonna be real pissed when that doesn't work out. I wonder if my men have yet contrived to scrape all that damnable manchego cheese off my astrolabe. Ew.
Though she never went to school, and she's kind and never cruel, do not take Alice for a fool. Alice Black, she is no fool.
I like her dress. I could see you in this dress, Thar.
Good evening to you, madam. How might I...
Hi.
It's the bows.
Pray go tell your master, Mr. Foreman, that Mistress Alice Blagg is come to see him.
Ah, Mistress Blagg. It is I, Dr. Simon Foreman, at your service. And what an honour it is to welcome the wife of the Dean of Rochester to my humble practice. To whom do I owe my thanks for having recommended you to my care?
Well, I will not lie. You owe your thanks to nobody. For folk do tell me that you are not a real doctor, but a quack, who does conjure demons and dabbles most unlawfully in the dark arts.
I do assure you, madam, that whatever you may have heard, I am a...
Nay, do not quibble, sir. If I did seek the counsel of a doctor who has one of those fancy medical degrees, or the kind of high-bred know-it-all who does see fit to judge a woman and vex her most cruelly, I would have gone elsewhere. But, truth be told, I have need of such a man as you, for I have been bewitched by a witch.
Ah, I see.
Yea, a loathsome spell has been cast upon me. It does cause me to awaken in the morning with a most terrible pain in my head, a pain so wretched it does have me chundering into my chamber pot.
Pain in the head and involuntary purging. And what leads you to believe your suffering is occasioned by witchcraft?
Well, the timing is most unnatural. My troubles do occur every Saturday morning without fail.
Oh, she's hungover.
I suspect the doings of our new neighbour, the widow MacDoon. As well as being Scottish, she does possess several cats.
She
Several
sounds
cats,
lovely.
You say?
One or two of which I may have kicked, and now she has seen fit to take revenge upon me with her dark, foreign magic.
I fucking hope
Indeed.
she does.
Scotland is well known for the powerful black witchcraft practiced by its womenfolk. But as compelling as this evidence may be, my practice does draw upon the latest scientifical arts. To diagnose your condition, I must first perform a rigorous astronomical analysis. So, let us see now, what do the stars say is the cause of your Saturday morning suffering?
Oh my goodness, Thar, that's such a coincidence there. Not your color? What do you mean? You make things in these soft colors all the time. I mean, verily, it is not a pastel, but still. Yeah, I think she's hungover. Alice's symptoms are caused by noxious food or drink. The sun, this means the condition is chronic. Saturn, this represents black bile. Mercury, dumb, silent, Virgo, suggests severe addiction. She's with child, no. She's bewitched, that's what she wants to hear. But it's every Saturday, so I think she probably parties hard on a Friday. I wouldn't know anything about that. Uranus in retrograde. This suggests a mild enchantment caused by a witch. Pluto in retrograde. The illness will get worse before it gets better. Nah, bitch. You're hungover. She's with child every Saturday.
Madam, may I delicately inquire as to whether it be the habit of you and your husband to take wine with supper? On Friday evenings, perchance? Drinking a little overmuch on occasion is nothing to be ashamed of. Many of my most respectable querents do find that a fine French claret can be deceptively...
Oh, nay, more's the pity. My husband is a tiresome teetotaler who prefers to spend his evenings writing sermons and counting coin. He hardly ever accompanies me to the tavern on Fridays.
Does he not? Well, in any case, I am much afraid that the ale you do consume upon these tavern visits may be to blame for your affliction. The consumption of strong drink can provoke an excess of black bile, which then does cause the body to purge itself the following day. I do advise you to consider...
Then I am not bewitched. But if that be true, then to poor Molly MacDoon I have been most rude and unneighbourly. For shame. I must go to her this hour and apologise. Fare you well, Mr. Foreman. I must bid you good day.
Okay, bye! The querent did present with headache and involuntary upward purging. I did advise the querent to moderate her consumption of wine and heady spirits, sort of. Methinks the querent was a little pleased. Yeah, because she doesn't care about the drinking. She's like, I was rude to my neighbor. I will invite my Scottish neighbor to take a conciliatory pint of ale with me. She's got a drinking buddy now. She's got a fucking drinking buddy.
Plots and imaginations, the schemes of big physic to sell you their wares. Their cures to us violent, but they call it science. They mock our beliefs and belittle our fears.
So the apothecary wasn't impressed, huh?
Ah, well met, Mr. Mugg. You seemed displeased following our last consultation. In truth, I am surprised to see you again.
Doubtless you are. You were very wrong to tell me I had, what was it again, hyperdiarrhea or some such?
Hypochondria, as I recall.
But, yea, I am come again, for it seems you have won the heart of my wife, and she will not hear of me seeing any other doctor henceforth.
Ah, verily. Your wife's endorsement does me honour, sir. So, what brings you this day? For in sooth you look most well.
Well? Mayhap I look well now, but 'twill not be for long. I have been poisoned.
Poisoned? By the saints! Who is the author of this foul deed?
My friend George Sprottle, the bookbinder. I did dine with him not 2 hours ago.
Ah, I see. A bout of evil digestion. Pray tell, was there turned meat or some such at table?
Nay, not meat. 'Twas a pie full of cherries. I had a bite of it afore I knew what I was eating.
Cherries, you say?
Aye, cherries. And this after I took particular care to give Mistress Sprottle a list of foods I must not eat. I added cherries to the list when I did hear that the Countess of Devonshire has declared against their noxious qualities.
The Countess of Devonshire, you say? Noxious qualities, indeed. And now your symptoms, Mr. Mugg. Had you any reaction after eating these cherries?
My reaction? Well, I reacted as any man would. I spat them out. And know you what Mr. Sprottle did then, Dr. Foreman?
Nay, but pray tell.
He did laugh at me. He even called me a dinner-ralphing fusspot. Fie, I may soon be in the grave, thanks to George. Will he still be laughing then?
Well, let us not speculate, shall we, Mr. Mugg? Now, let us see what the stars may tell us. What ails Nicholas Mugg?
Well, do we want to tell him what... I ate some cherry pie. What ails me? You had pie. Cherry poisoning. We could tell him what he wants to hear. Cancer, ruler of the stomach. Mars falling in Cancer suggests a mild imbalance of color. It's hyperdiarrhea, forsooth. Or Mugg is splenetic, occasioned by rancorous behavior, Virgo, ruler of the spleen. I mean, this is still telling him that there's something wrong, right? Maybe he'll like that.
Your condition has been provoked by the rancour you feel toward your host for having ignored your alimentary demands. These feelings have caused your spleen to produce ill humours, which you are presently venting in the form of bilious anger. Hence it will quickly pass.
I see. But what of the cherries I ate?
Cherries are perfectly safe to eat. Truly, Mr. Mugg, you must abandon these absurd and superstitious notions about the evils of particular fruits and vegetables.
Must I?
Aye.
He's like, but it makes me so
with the
interesting.
exception of onions, of course. For onions do render a man susceptible to the plague.
What?
Onions, verily? I thank you for the warning, Dr. Foreman. I shall add onions to my list.
You just gave him more fuel for his list. Okay, sure. The querent did come afeard that he was ill, having eaten food that the Countess of Devonshire, who I note is not a licensed doctor, not that I feel like we have any right to be like poo-poo, since we are also not licensed, has deemed unwholesome. I did diagnose a minor imbalance of color, which required no treatment. Methinks the querent was a little pleased. Has the Countess of Devonshire discoursed upon the evils of onions? I must inquire. Oh, these game devs are so good. So good. Fap not, Foreman. Thou art not alone. God, this is so good. They know their audience.
William! Ah, there you are. Did Mistress Allen call whilst I was out this day? Nay? You're quite sure about that, are you? I see. I cannot understand it. Why has Avis not come these past weeks? Does she no longer wish to see me?
You accused her of cheating on you. Instead of being excited that she was pregnant with your child, you were like, "It's William!" Silly man. Why does Avis not see you? I have been deprived of tender favors of late, but my fortune seems to be reversing. I expect to see Avis again soon. Uranus in retrograde, reversal to a change in fortune. Pluto in retrograde, reverse of sex is chastity. Mistress Allen's reluctance to see me is but the legacy of my unpleasant manner towards her in the past, provoked by my suspicious fancies. Yeah, that's true. Mercury represents creativity, Venus in detriment, in Scorpio represents unpleasantness. So we were a rank bitch and she was like, nah, I don't like that. Avis feels that she has treated her husband carelessly. Jupiter in detriment in retrograde represents carelessness. It was cruel of Avis to allow me to hope that we would one day be together. Mars falling in Cancer represents cruelty. House of Duties. Saturn represents constraint and discipline. It is only self-constraint and a sense of duty towards her husband that keeps Avis from calling on me. I don't think that's true. Avis's feelings cannot be trusted. She harbors romantic feelings towards another man. The moon represents emotions. Sun falling in Libra represents untrustworthiness. Or C. Avis does not know who has fathered the child she carries. House of Unborn Children represents confusion. No, she knows. You're just an idiot. So we're gonna go with this because we're fucking dumb. If you pick B, all B things are stated. No. There's always some sort of uncertainty of what Simon is gonna say exactly.
So,
and sometimes
it is the
things
madness
are
of my love
contradictory.
that keeps Avis away. My jealous passions and accusations have vexed her, mayhap even caused her fright. When she comes to see me again, for she surely will, by and by, I must remember to be kinder to her, to not plague her with my suspicions. And until Avis does return, well, there are other women in the world, are there not?
Cool your jets, man. Keep the Venetian glassware in its cabinet. Because she came to us saying, is my lover seeing anybody else? And she was super relieved. Like, listen, if you love her, don't go fucking around with other ladies. I wish to know why Avis Allen no longer comes to see me. I learned that Avis is troubled by my jealousy. It's true. I really want to write myself a letter. Fap not, Foreman. No, we should tell him to Fap. Fap yes, Foreman. I have oft remarked the power my charms have over my lady Querence. I don't think that's true. Sir, I must thank you for resolving the misunderstanding betwixt me and my neighbour, Mistress Molly MacDoon. You advised me that my Saturday morning headaches and chunderings were not caused by her witchcraft, but by my consumption of strong drink. You spoke true, and for that I am grateful, although if Molly was not then the author of my suffering, she surely is now. For since we are become friends, we do go together to the tavern every Friday. Your querent, Alice Blurg. Cool.
Like the sun,
Snow be white. Her breasts are done.
And that is our description done, for she's but a lady, she's but a lady.
I fucking knew it, man. I read that sonnet earlier.
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Much time has passed since I last saw you. How do you fare?
In truth, not well, Dr. Foreman, not well at all.
Then I am full sorry for it, madam. Pray, tell me what manner of ill has befallen you.
First, I must beseech your pardon, sir. For methinks Mr. S may verily be my prowler after all, as you did surmise.
Yes.
Think nothing of it, madam. But what has made you change your mind about him?
I have been publicly humiliated.
Oh, good.
Mr. S has been circulating a collection of insulting sonnets about an unnamed dark lady, and all of London thinks this dark lady is me.
Well, your complexion is rather... that is to
I
say...
am described as having foul breath and black wires for hair. Though methinks the very worst line is the one that tells of a gross body rising at the utterance of my name. And I cannot abide illusions, Dr. Foreman. If Mr. S wishes to reference bodily levitation and other such cheap stage magic, he would do well to leave my name out of it. My interest is in the dramatic arts, not fairground attractions.
I am not sure that is quite his meaning.
Dr. Foreman, you know of Mr. William Shakespeare, then? Do not tell me you have read the sonnets.
Well, I own that I have. But as you did remark, madam, all of London has read them.
Oh, well, I am undone. My professional reputation is now utterly spoiled, for now the whole world will look upon me as naught but Mr. Shakespeare's fancy wench.
Aww.
No longer will they judge me on my own merits.
Let us hope it is not as grave as that, madam. Have you discoursed upon the matter with him?
Nay, I dare not confront him about it. For we are almost at an end with our work on a play, and I dare not risk it not being staged.
Then let us see what the stars advise. What may Mistress Lanier do to restore her professional reputation?
I know, Thar, I know. I bookmarked the page and I meant to go back and read them. I saw Sonnet 116, which is one of my favorites, and I didn't realize he was doing one a day, and then someone else posted a different one, and I was like, oh my god! So yeah, they're so good. Dun means brown. My reputation has been sullied by William Shakespeare's bawdy poems. What should I do? Let him write those bawdy poems about you, or I will! Let him write bawdy poems about me! Oh, girl! You have the jealousy of my full being. Mistress Lanier harbored secret thoughts of adultery, which relate somehow to her intellect and her feelings of dissatisfaction. House of Secrets. Moon falling in Scorpio, this suggests dissatisfaction. Venus in detriment in Scorpio shows adultery. Mercury represents intelligence. Miss Lanier is ignorant of her romantic feelings, and this must be reversed. House of Love and Romance. Jupiter in detriment and retrograde suggests reversal of ignorance. Mistress Lanier should abandon her career ambitions and revert to her true vocation. Oh god. Bringing forth new life, she should have another child. Yikes. Uranus in retrograde, this represents a sudden reversal. Of course, Pluto in retrograde means life. So I was down with the love and romance bit. Like, go be with Shakespeare. Mistress Lanier is confused about her feelings for me? How interesting. God will help Mistress Lanier if she exercises constraint and discipline. No. The relationship between Mr. Shakespeare and Mistress Lanier is not an equal one. Shakespeare's arrogance will overshadow Amelia's contribution to the play they're writing. Oh, it's true, but I hate it. This represents an arrogant man, sun falling in Libra. Mistress Lanier must find a way to dissociate her name from these sonnets, for if she does not, her literary legacy will be betrayed by association with them. Mars falling in Cancer. Have Shakespeare's baby as the pro tip. Not necessarily. I mean, I agree with this part, but again, we don't know what exact, I'm not gonna tell her, hey, give up all of your... Oh my gosh, friend! I just want to hug this friend! What? Joe Mutant, thank you so much for becoming a patron of the hype. That is very kind of you. Prithee, Is this your first time being a patron? Or has it previously been thrust upon you before? Ah, 'tis your first. In which case, we must properly celebrate. Verily, we must celebrate this wild occasion. And so we dance to thank you for becoming a patron of the hype. A patron of the hype. We gotta dance for you, oh yes. We gotta dance for you, oh yes. We must dance for you. We must dance for you. Thank you very much for becoming a patron of the hype. I appreciate it. Oh, he knows. I've had one before it was a gift. Well, it said 1 month. The badges now keep track of subscriptions, and it doesn't matter whether it's a gift or not. It all adds up together. It's very handy. But thank you so much for that. That's very kind of you. I hope you enjoyed your celebratory dance. Hooray. Okay, so let's see. So she wants to bang Shakespeare. She doesn't realize that she wants to bang Shakespeare. And she should go have babies. Or she needs to back away from Shakespeare because their relationship's not equal. Even the socks match the outfit. I've got socks with kitties on them today. But yeah, I did pick them because they fit me today. What is that? The fuck is that, Wormy? What do you guys think? If this goes wrong, I think we have to complete this. So if she doesn't like what we say, then we're not going to get the recommendation, I don't think. All right, well, she'll come back to us twice. So we've still got other chances. So we can tell her to back off Shakespeare, or we can tell her to go to Shakespeare, basically. Puff-ups? Or words of encouragement, but also farty hands. Okay, I've never heard of a puff-up before. That's interesting. But yeah, I was like, why is this person holding farts? You know what? I'm gonna tell her, as much as I love Shakespeare, girl, your name is not gonna be on that play.
You are right to be concerned about the damage to your reputation, Mistress Lanier, for there is a danger that your partnership with Mr. Shakespeare and his depiction of you in his sonnets will forever overshadow your own literary achievements.
God's womb. But what can I do to forestall such an injustice?
I suggest you spread a rumour of your own about another lady. For instance, there is a brothel owner in Clerkenwell they call Black Luce. If you were to put it about that she is the subject of Shakespeare's sonnets, 'twould do her reputation no harm. Indeed, the effect would be quite the reverse, for doubtless there be many a manor present who would pay handsomely for a tumble with Shakespeare's dark lady.
Well, indeed. I do feel 'tis most important to advance the interests of my fellow women, especially those seeking to make their way in business.
I gotta support small businesses, man.
Do you see that, Dr. Foreman? 'Tis your mute Italian querent, Signor Ferraro. He is staring at us through the window.
Is he? Then doubtless he has come for another consultation.
All right, give me that letter! The querent did fear her reputation had been defiled by poems of a bawdy nature written by Mr. Shakespeare and currently being circulated around London. I did advise the querent to spread a competing rumor that the dark lady of Mr. Shakespeare's sonnets was a lady by the name of Black Luce, the brothel keeper in Clerkenwell. Methinks the querent was pleased with me for the reading I gave. Yay! We got a second letter of recommendation. Not only shall I rescue my reputation, I shall be a good ally to this... What was her name again? Ah, yes, Black Luce.
When it feels like an Italian cliché, when it feels like an Italian cliché,
A cheap Prosecco.
Signor Ferraro.
Yay! Oh god, this game is so good. October 12th is your birthday! Not 15 whatever it was, though.
Good day, senor, and well met.
Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great Dottore Simon Foreman.
This guy's nuts.
Indeed, I did recognize you, senor. How may I assist you this day?
I am ill. I tell you my problems. First the problem. I do make a chandar in the morning. Next the problems. My belly does swell and my chest, 'tis a most tender to the
You are
touch.
not pregnant.
And now, for the very most terrible of problems. I have the big feels.
The big feels?
One moment I do weep, and the next I do curse and gnash my teeth. So, Dottore, you tell what ails me, huh? You wanna make a water into this cup? Un momento, I make the water.
Nay, not in my... prithee, hold. If you please, senor. As with our previous consultations, I shall be judging your illness by reading the stars.
So, you need not of my...
Nay, senor, I have no need of it. Whilst 'tis true that most physicians do spy and sniff their patients' urine, I find this method of piss-pot diagnosis most imprecise. Indeed, the practice is quite primitive. 'Tis my belief that if medicine is to advance in this modern age, we must all adopt a more scientifical method. I am quite sure history will bear me out on this question.
This is scientific.
The mustache fell off! Did you see that?
This reading my diagnosis in the stars?
Precisely so. Speaking thereof, perchance we may consult the stars now. What illness troubles Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
Being a fake. Everything comes down to poo. From the top of your head to the sole of your shoe. We can figure out what's wrong with you by looking at your poo. Turk? Or bear in this case. Chunder means to throw up. So he's telling me he's pregante. Preganinant, which is my favorite one. Signor Ferraro is troubled with apoplexy, a condition of the brain provoked by a sudden fit. It affects sensory perception and causes swollen neck veins, memory loss, and gnashing of teeth. Uranus in retrograde suggests mild enchantment cast by a witch. Pluto in retrograde, illness will get worse before it's better. Or the crib. Signor Ferraro suffers from mattering in the breast, which is a gathering of corrupt matter in the chest area, occasioning pain in the breast. Mars falling in Cancer suggests a mild imbalance of color. Or you're with child, sir. I'm totally telling him he's with child. 100%! The moon is falling in Scorpio. Condition will not last long because it's fake. Venus in detriment in Scorpio suggests the mild imbalance of phlegm. Mercury indicates a psychological factor, denial. Thought I was good in English, although it's not my native tongue. I didn't know what it was when I started the game. But they've used it enough that now I know. You're pregante. You're preggernat.
This is exceeding strange. Your complaints of a tender chest, morning purges, swelling, along with the positions of the planets, they suggest you are with child.
You would judge me, a man, as being with a child? Gods of blood! What kind of a dottore are you?
Well, indeed, it does seem strange. I may have gotten my calculations wrong. Unless, of course, your moustache is naught but a canning disguise. But I jest, signor. 'Twas not my intention to doubt your manliness.
You jest! A lady who would disguise herself as a man? So silly. I think you see too many plays by Mr. Shakespeare, huh? Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Okay, well, he hates us, but I don't understand why he's doing this. I did tell the querent he was with child, a physical impossibility, but why did the querent tell me he had such symptoms? He took my advice a little ill. God's blood, that was a close shave. You need a close shave. Get that mustache off.
Shadows are with max of food on your plate. Are you verily sure that your dinner is clear? At midst, of food causes your pain, but your friends and relations are very mean.
This game is great. He's just got the fingers.
Good day, Mr. Mugg. Pray tell, did the matter with the, cherries resolve itself in the end?
Aye, indeed. I did tell my friend, Mr. Sprottle, what you said about how my shouting at him was owing to an upset of bile in my spleen. I also did speak to him on the evils of onions. I think he was most interested.
And what may I assist you with this day, Mr. Mugg?
I have the spotted fever. I must begin treatment now, or else I will...
Hold, sir. The spotted fever is exceeding rare. Why would you think you have such a disease?
Well, sir, not only am I covered all over in red spots, I have lately taken to chundering, such as are the very symptoms listed in the medical book I did read. I am already taking the treatment Mr. Cogan prescribes, but now I require...
You mean to say you have read Thomas Cogan's Haven of Health? Why, that is a most technical book, writ for doctors and medical students. How did you come to be reading it?
My friend George Sprottle did bind a printing of it in his shop. He kindly let me spy some pages afore 'twas sent up to Cambridge. Oh, but Dr. Foreman, I forget myself. You have no medical degree, so you doubtless have not read it. Mayhap if I ask George nicely...
Sir, let us consult the stars and see if they may tell us what ails you.
I think Simon was about to be like, excuse me, I totally do not have a medical license. Alright, the spotted fever. So he's puking and he's got... Stop using more of FD. He suffers from hypochondria, induced by the appearance of benign pimples on the privy member. What he didn't say about his ding-dong. Mild imbalance of phlegm. Evil digestion. He didn't eat anything and it's not his stomach. Well, he did say he was puking. Or you fuck it, you got the spotted fever. Libra, ruler of the skin. Sun falling in Libra suggests the illness is chronic but intermittent. I'm gonna try again. Dude, you have hypochondria.
The spots on your privy member suggest a mild venereal disease. Such pustules can appear so foul in appearance as to induce involuntary upward purging, as is the case here. It's also indicated that you suffer from hypochondria.
Dr. Foreman, did you not hear me? I said nothing of spots being on my yardle.
Yardle?
Oh, my word, I know not why folk even bother with doctors. Not now we have books to consult. One thing more, if you please, Dr. Foreman, for I feel I must give ye warning. A great storm is coming. I feel it in my bones, and my bones do always speak true.
Oh, do they now?
You would do well to bide indoors at the first sign of wind and rain. God keep you well, Dr. Foreman.
I know we're screwing up our stuff with him, but I did diagnose pimples on the privy member and hypochondria. The querent departed before I could prescribe treatment. Dang it, he hates me. Now that common folk know how to read, we shall soon have no more need of doctors.
Almighty God, guide servant Thomas Black, reach forth thy gracious hand, and slap sense into him.
Slap that biche.
Good morrow, Dean Blagg. How fare you this day?
Well, Dr. Foreman, I must own that I do not fare well, for my recent investments have left me in a rather vexing financial position.
Verily, that is ill to hear.
Aye, Sir Walter Raleigh's quest for El Dorado failed most woefully, just as you predicted.
'Cause I'm the best.
His ships did return loaded with naught but a few sacks of worthless root vegetables.
They're very
I
yummy.
cannot fathom it. We are Englishmen. We do not eat vegetables.
Aye, a disappointing outcome indeed.
Oh, but that is all by the by. For you will be pleased to know that I put my remaining fortune into a new venture so assured of success that I will make all my money back and more.
Assured, you say? How very reassuring.
I have invested in an expedition to intercept a fleet of Spanish ships carrying gold back from the New World. For this expedition, Sir Walter Raleigh will be joined by that famous military genius, Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex. So success is virtually guaranteed. There is but one small worry, however.
Ah, only one?
Aye. 'Tis that Raleigh and Essex set sail full 2 months past, but there is yet no tidings of them. Such silence is a trifle vexing. Have they yet captured the Spanish treasure ships? Surely no ill has befallen them.
A most vexing mystery indeed. Let us see whether the stars can tell us what has become of this expedition.
Girl, they fucked. Alright, let's see. Angels will vest their blessings upon Blog, but he must be patient, says the House of Good Angels and Saturn, which represents time and aging. Eating vegetables like some sort of commoner? Yeah, vegetables are only for throwing at people in plays, not for eating. House of the Querent Blog is a lazy fantasist who indulges in an excess of creative thinking. Venus in detriment to Scorpio, it indicates laziness. Mercury indicates creativity. Alright, what about this one? A violent battle is being waged in a foreign clime. House of Foreign Countries suggests violence, blood is being shed. God has granted Blog good intuition. I don't think that's true at all. The moon shines its benevolent light upon the Blog family fortune. Moon represents domesticity in the House of Finances. I don't... Nope. No, sir. The expedition has been endangered by secret information from an untrustworthy authority. Untrustworthy? How very dare the stars throw shade upon my honor thus? My skill in reading navigational coordinates in the skies is unimpeachable. The sun falling in Libra represents an untrustworthy authority. Blog has been careless with his financial legacy, that's true. Jupiter in detriment retrograde indicates a reversal due to carelessness. Raleigh and Essex are sailing ships in the wrong direction and will suffer a reversal of fortune. Suggests backwards transformation, represents reversal. Yes, his name is Blog. Yep. We're going with C. He didn't consult us first. We could have brought him away from this.
Bad tidings for your family's fortune, I fear. The Earl of Essex and Sir Walter Raleigh did sail their fleet into the middle of nowhere, with not a Spanish treasure ship in sight. It would seem their geographical information was at fault. having been obtained from a most unreliable and untrustworthy authority.
Truly? I am ruined. Zoons! My goose is cooked! Mistress Blarg will have me baked into pies!
Yeah, maybe. You took my advice a little ill. Yeah, but like... Listen. Hey, it's not my fault! Man. Oh, Lord have mercy. Spare my wife the news of my wretched penury. Well, guess what, dude? Maybe you should consult me before you invest instead of after. Anyway, I'm going to take a very brief break here so that I can get some more water and use the bathroom. I will be right back and enjoy the tunes.